Deep in the heart of the ancient woods, a legend stirs. In this realm, the line between reality and myth dissolves. Behold the Lapapatika, a creature born of ethereal light. Its eyes reflect the deep, ancient wisdom of the greenery. It moves through the air with a rhythmic, liquid grace. Far greater than any butterfly, it is the forest's living soul. But as quickly as it appears, it vanishes into the shadows. Some sightings are never forgotten. The mystery remains.
All right, today we're going on a journey, and I mean a real journey, to the absolute edge of the known world, all to uncover a creature so unbelievably breathtaking, it's more of a whisper than a page in a textbook. We're talking about the Butterfly-Winged Lapapatika. Just let that sink in for a second. I forgot to breathe. Now, that's not some dramatic line from a movie. That's a real quote from the field journal of Dr. Alara Voss, a seriously seasoned wildlife researcher. I mean, what could possibly make an expert, someone who's probably seen it all, have that kind of reaction? Well, that's exactly the story we're about to get into. So to even begin to understand what Dr. Voss saw, we have to go where she went. And this place? It's called the Chimeric Garden. You're not going to find this on Google Maps, I can tell you that. It's a legendary realm, this deep, misty pocket of the world where, the normal rules of nature seem to bend. A place where real wonders can still be found. Okay, so here we are in the Chimeric Garden, and it was right here that Dr. Voss had her unbelievable encounter. And this isn't just about data or speculation. No, this is a first-hand account. This is the moment a living, breathing myth decided to step right out of the shadows. So just try to picture it, right? She's on what she thinks is a routine patrol, kind of lost in the dense undergrowth. The air is just thick with that smell of wet moss and these night-blooming orchids. And then everything just stops. Every bird, every insect just goes completely silent. And you know what that means. That's the kind of quiet that means something is watching you. And that is when she saw it. Now, this is what I love about how her first sighting is described. It starts with the familiar, right? Tall as a deer, graceful as a fawn. Okay, you and I can picture that. But then it gets wild. It was draped in wings. Not bird wings. We're talking enormous, butterfly-like wings, this deep, rich cobalt blue that just shimmered in the light like living stained glass. Can you even imagine? But here's where it gets even crazier. This encounter wasn't just a quick look. The creature wasn't startled, it didn't bolt, it just looked at her. And Dr. Voss said that in its eyes, she saw this calm, ancient intelligence. This wasn't just a sighting anymore. It was a moment of recognition, a connection between our world and, well, something else entirely. So, okay, after an encounter like that, the scientific mind has to kick in. You'd be asking, what was that thing? So now we're going to shift gears a little bit, away from the personal story and into the hard data, as we try to deconstruct the anatomy of a living legend. This is like a page from a field guide that shouldn't exist. I mean, just look at this data. A wingspan of 4 to 5 feet, a diet of luminescent pollen, it's all there. But the real kicker, the line that gives me chills, is at the bottom. Status, undiscovered. Think about what that means. It highlights this incredible challenge for science. When you find something so radical it breaks all your existing categories, you have to create a new one. The legendary category isn't just some placeholder, it's an admission that our map of life has a brand new, uncharted frontier. Okay, let's zoom in on its form a little more. You've got that slender, deer-like frame, right? But then it's paired with these long, pointed ears that almost look like antennae. They probably detect tiny vibrations in the forest floor. And this last detail is just so cool. Researchers think its feathered legs let it hover for just a moment when it's startled. Instead of running, it would just float away into the trees. But let's get back to those incredible wings. So what are they for? This slide really nails their true purpose. They are not for flying long distances. They're for communication, a kind of emotional expression. Think about that. It's such a key insight. Evolution doesn't always take the most obvious path. In this case, a structure we always associate with flight got repurposed into a language of color and light, a silent, absolutely beautiful conversation with the forest itself. So on top of its visual language, the Lapapatika also has a voice. But just like everything else about it, it's subtle, it's mysterious, and it's incredibly hard to capture. So let's try to listen in on the forest's secret language. So far, researchers have managed to pin down 3 distinct calls. First up is the whisper pulse. It's this hum that's so low you apparently feel it more than you hear it. They think it's a simple greeting. Second, there's the wing drum, which is exactly what it sounds like. It uses those huge wings to create this percussive beat as a warning. And third, the most mysterious one of all, the long note, this haunting melody that's only ever heard at dusk. And what does that long note even sound like? Well, the research team had only one way to describe it. They said it was the most beautiful sound the forest has ever made. And its purpose? Totally unknown. Is it a call to a mate? A song for the setting sun? We have no idea. And, well, that's pretty much where the story stands today. The Lapatika is still a complete mystery. It's a creature of legend, this beautiful rumor that lives just beyond the edge of our maps. When you really think about it, the Lapapatika is more than just some potential new discovery. Its existence in this legendary category is a really powerful reminder, isn't it? It suggests that no matter how much we explore and chart and define our world, biology's final chapter is, well, it's nowhere near being written. There are still wonders out there, hidden in the shadows, not just beyond our reach, but maybe beyond our current imagination, just waiting in the silence. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? I mean, if a creature like the Butterfly-Winged Lapapatika could actually be out there, hidden from us all this time, what else is out there? How many other wonders are still waiting to be discovered?
Today, we're diving into something that feels like it's straight out of a fantasy novel, but it's a very real scientific enigma. We're talking about a creature that could completely upend what we know about biology, the Butterfly-Winged Lapapatika.
So let me just ask you this. What if a mammal had the wings of a butterfly? I mean, really think about that for a second. It sounds impossible, right? Like something from a myth or fairy tale. But that's the core mystery we're going to be unraveling today.
Okay, so where do we even begin with something so strange? Well, we start where every single sighting has ever happened. In those hazy, magical moments right between day and night. This is truly a creature of the twilight. Now, there is a cool scientific word for this, crepuscular. You've heard of it with animals like owls or even fireflies. They thrive in that in-between time, that kind of magical space. But for the Lapapatika, this isn't just some quirky habit. No, it's absolutely fundamental to its entire existence, and you're about to see why.
And here's another weird thing. You'd expect a creature this elusive to be, skittish and quick to bolt. But not the Lapapatika. The few people who've seen it describe its movement as almost ceremonial. It has this slow, deliberate walk. It's graceful, and it's in absolutely no hurry at all.
Okay, so its movement is strange. What about what it eats? Well, its diet is just as specific and, frankly, just as mysterious. It survives on this one super specialized food source, rare pollen. But hold on, it gets even weirder than that.
It doesn't just eat any old pollen. It feeds from flowers that only bloom in the moonlight. Think about that.
That one single detail paints this incredible picture of a creature that is so perfectly, maybe even magically in sync with its environment.
So we've got a twilight creature with a moonlight diet. Weird enough, right? But the strangest thing about the Lapapatika, the part that has scientists just completely stumped, is what happens when you try to get a good look at it. They literally call it the vanishing act.
This behavior is so unheard of that scientists actually had to invent a whole new term just to describe it: the awareness threshold. It's this idea that the creature has some kind of uncanny sensitivity, almost like a sixth sense that tells it when it's being watched too closely.
So just put yourself in a researcher's shoes for a second. You're out there, you've been waiting for hours, you finally see it. You raise your camera, you're holding your breath, trying not to make a sound. You zoom in, you focus the lens, trying to get that one single perfect shot. And right at that exact moment of focus,
Poof, it's just gone. Not a sound, no rustling leaves, no blur of movement into the bushes. It just isn't there anymore. And that's the huge problem, right? How on earth are you supposed to study something that knows you're studying it and vanishes the second you do?
and this whole vanishing act, it's not just some cool party trick. It leads us directly to a much, much bigger question. This thing isn't just hard to find. It's a complete and total evolutionary puzzle. I mean, think about any other mammal out there. We find their homes, their nests, we see their babies, we can trace their family trees back millions of years. But with the Lapapatika, we've got nothing. Zip. No nest has ever been found, no young have ever been seen, and we have no idea where it fits on the evolutionary tree. It's a living paradox.
So here's the real takeaway. The Lapapatika isn't just some interesting new species to add to the list. Its very existence, if proven, could force us to question everything. It makes us wonder if the fundamental rules of biology that we've all been working with might need a serious rewrite. It really all boils down to the number 1, because this would be the first mammal ever documented with true biological wings. And I'm not talking about skin like a bat or feathers like a bird. We're talking about wings with the same delicate, scaly structure as a butterfly. Let me be super clear here. According to our current understanding of biology, that is supposed to be impossible. The implications of this are just mind-blowing. Think about it. Mammal DNA and insect DNA are like two completely different operating systems. They shouldn't be compatible. Finding them merged together in one animal, it blurs a line we thought was set in stone. This isn't the kind of discovery that just adds a new page to a textbook. No, this could force us to go back and rewrite entire chapters. So, an impossible creature needs an impossible home, right? As you'd probably guess, where this thing lives is just as mysterious as what it is. For now, it's a secret that's apparently kept by a very, very special place. The handful of people who claim to have documented it all talk about a place they call the chimeric garden. I mean, even the name is perfect, right? A chimera is a mix of different things. It sounds like a place where reality and dreams kind of blend together. And the Lapapatika? Well, it's the garden's crown jewel, its most protected secret. And you can't just find this place on a map. There are no GPS coordinates. The people who've been there say something really poetic about it. They say the garden only reveals itself to those who stop looking and simply wander. It's a really beautiful idea, isn't it? That maybe the biggest discoveries aren't found when we're searching so hard, but when we just let go. And really, that's the perfect question to end on. In our constant quest for knowledge, for data, for proof, are we sometimes looking too hard? The story of the Lapapatika and its secret garden suggests that maybe, just maybe, the greatest mysteries out there aren't waiting for our best microscopes. Maybe they're just waiting for our sense of wonder to kick in. It makes you think, doesn't it? What else is just waiting to be found if we only give ourselves permission to wander?